Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel, and welcome to my June TBR video. I cannot believe that it is June. I cannot believe we are approaching the midway point of 2025. That is absolutely terrifying, but also very exciting because we are entering summer, at least those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. We are entering summer and I'm so happy. Summer is the best time of year. Summer is my favorite season by far. Summer is just, it's everything to me. It is happiness, it is joy, it is warmth, it is literally everything. So I'm so excited to be picking up my June TBR. This will be my first TBR of the summer. And I just always feel like I do really great reading in the summertime. I really love just sitting outside in the sun and reading. And I feel like I have so many memories of last summer and the summer before that of reading some really great books, and I associate certain books with summer, and I just think it's going to be an amazing season. I am planning on rereading the Throne of Glass series. I always do that in the summer because to me Throne of Glass is a summer series. I can't explain it, but that's just how it is in my head. So needless to say, I'm really looking forward to this next season. Summer girlies, it is our time. I hope you guys are ready. So we need to get started with the very first TBR of summer using my TBR jar. So I did actually recently refresh the prompts in my TBR jar. So we have a bunch of new ones. I was running low, so I went over to my Instagram and asked you guys to give me some new prompts, and I put them in like last week, and I honestly don't remember any of them. So it's gonna be really exciting to see what I pull. If you have not seen one of my TBR jar videos before, essentially what I do is I'm going to pull out 6 different prompts, and I'm going to match those prompts to a book to read for my June TBR. So I will be talking about 6 books that I want to read in June based off these prompts, and then I do usually read a little bit more based off of my mood. So it's a perfect combination of sticking to a TBR and then also mood reading throughout the month. So let's get straight into it and start putting together my June TBR. All right, the very first TBR prompt for the month of June will be: read a book by an author you've previously given 5 stars to. Okay, that is very fun. There's just so many options coming to my head right now. Okay, let me look at my recent 5 stars, see if there is anything on Goodreads that is standing out to me. Ooh, okay. I just scrolled through my Goodreads and just my recent 5-star reads that I've had, and I actually haven't had a lot of 5 stars this year. We need to fix that. But one book that stood out to me right away was The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. And I have been wanting to read another book by this author for such a long time, essentially since I read The Sword of Kaigen back in November. So let's pick that book. Okay, so the book that I am matching to the read a book by an author you have previously given 5 stars to is going to be Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. I am so ready for this book to ruin me in the absolute best way. I know that this is a dark academia fantasy book. I don't know anything else, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to even look at anything else. I just want to go in and experience whatever M.L. Wong has in store for me. I absolutely love her writing. The Sword of Kaigen is one of the best books I have ever read in my life. It is like an infinity stars book for me. It breaks my rating scale, and I'm really hoping that I have the same experience with Blood Over Brighthaven. I have just been craving books that make me feel a lot and have more depth. I feel like after I read Sunrise on the Reaping, that was a 5-star. That was just like so impactful, and it's one of those books that makes me feel like maybe I need to be a little more, not careful is like too dramatic of a word, but maybe I just need to be a little bit more careful with the books that I give 5 stars to, because Sunrise on the Reaping was just like so impactful and amazing, and I am still thinking about it, and it just makes me want to hold my 5-star ratings closer to my chest. And I have a feeling if there's any book that is going to give me that overwhelming infinity stars feeling, Blood Over Brighthaven is definitely a contender. I just trust this author's writing and characterization and depth of emotion so much. So I think Blood Over Brighthaven is going to be an excellent book to read in the month of June. All right, TBR jar prompt number 2. A book from previous month's TBR that you didn't read. There's quite a few books that I could choose from. I'm looking at my TBR right now. I am filming this in May, so May is not over, but I don't think I'm going to be able to complete every single book on my May TBR. So let me go take a look at the books on my TBR and pull one. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit here, and I actually picked out 2 books that are on my May TBR that I know that I'm not going to be able to get to before the month is up, but that I know I am going to be reading next. So a vlog that I am working on, these 2 books will be featured in them. A little spoiler for my next reading vlog, and that is Fairy Tale and then The Inadequate Heir. I am doing like a fantasy romance reading vlog right now, and these 2 books are going to be a part of it. So I'm going to add both of these books to my June TBR because I really want to read both of them. This is the 3rd book in a fantasy romance series by Danielle L. Jensen. This is, I think this might be a standalone, maybe it's the start of a series, but it is supposed to be a very just different, interesting, super unique fantasy romance. I think there are some historical elements, maybe even some like horror or gothic elements. I really don't know what to expect with this, but these are two books that I really, really want to read. So I'm gonna put them on my June TBR. I just know that I'm definitely going to get to them in the first part of the month. So let's just throw them on the June TBR. All right, prompt number 3, start a new series. Okay, so this happens to be one of my favorite hobbies. So really, oh my gosh, there's just so many different avenues I could go down. Okay, let me take a second to think about this. I will be back with my choice. Okay, I picked a book that I've owned for a very, very long time, and it's one of those books that's just been staring at me on my shelves. It's a book that when I come into my book room, my eyes find its spine lately. Does anyone else have that experience where there will just be a book that like you haven't thought about in forever, but all of a sudden it gets your attention and you're like, huh, I should read that. And actually about a week ago, I requested the audiobook from my library. So that should come in the month of June. So this is the perfect time to read it. The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. So this is the first book in a trilogy, I believe. This is a sapphic fantasy between a princess and a priestess. And I've just heard really amazing things about it. Also, this author is coming out with a book, I want to say in the fall, maybe September, and it is a like medieval knights type of story, and it is sapphic, and the cover is really cool, and it's just a book that I'm so looking forward to, but I would really like to read something by this author before I jump into that. So I want to give this book a shot. I'm really, really excited to read this. Hope that I love it, and I will want to continue on with the whole series. All right, pick number 4 is read. Oh my God. Okay. I do remember this TBR prompt from one of you, and I thought it was so clever. And also, this is probably going to take me such a long time to find a book that matches this, but it's read a book with an ISBN ending in the number 9. So basically how I am going to approach this is I'm going to look at some books on my shelves that I've been thinking about that I've wanted to read lately and hope and pray, fingers crossed, that they do end in the number 9. And if they don't, we're just gonna have to keep looking. So I've got my work cut out for me. I will be back with my pick. Okay, hi. I found my book that matches this TBR prompt, but oh my God, this took a long time for me to find a book. That was honestly really fun, and that's a really, really good idea for a TBR prompt. So shout out to whoever gave me that prompt. Your brain is wonderful. And I honestly had a really good time searching through my shelves for a book with an ISBN that ended in the number 9. The book that I landed on is The Goddess of by Randy Gardner. So this book is the first book in a fantasy romance series, and I actually believe it is advertised as an urban fantasy. You guys know I love urban fantasy, so I'm really, really intrigued about this book. What I do know about it is our main character, her mother is the high sea goddess, and she sets our main character up into an arranged marriage. Our main character wants nothing to do with that, so she turns to the god of death and curses to help her out. This god does agree to help her get out of the arranged marriage, but she must accept a curse blindly in order to do so. And of course she does. So our main character sets off on an adventure. She goes to the mortal lands, and her life just is totally turned upside down. Gods are chasing after her, and she really starts to care for a mortal. I feel like this is a really unique story. I don't think I've read anything like that, and I'm just really excited to read this. I've heard a lot of good things. Also, the cover is just so gorgeous. So really, really looking forward to reading this in June. Okay, we have 2 more TBR prompts left. Let's go for number 5. Okay, we have read a book from your 25 books to read in 2025. I think that this was maybe a TBR prompt that I've done before, but these are all like new ones. So someone else is keeping me accountable by having me have this as another TBR prompt. Honestly, I think, like I said last time this TBR prompt came up, I should probably have multiples of these because I need to read down that list. But I have a really good list, really good options to choose from my 25 books to read in 2025 list. So let's take a look here. All right, I think I'm going to pick a book that I have been intimidated to read, but I've been putting it off for so long, and I've owned this book for such a long time, and we just need to tackle this book together. So let me grab it. All right, you guys, I'm so excited to read this. I can't believe I'm like finally talking about this book in a video. It's a book that I feel like I'm going to absolutely love. I feel like it has the potential to be like a new all-time favorite, and for some reason, I always put off those types of books, but no more. In the month of June, I'm going to be reading The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I'm so ready to read this. I have had so many people recommend it to me. I've had a lot of you tell me that you think that I will love it, and I seriously cannot wait to see what it's all about. The only thing I know is this is a book that follows like the most infamous wizard of all time. That is my understanding of the plot. I don't really know much else, and I think I'm gonna keep it that way. I do just want to go in, really no expectations, and see what this book is all about. I hope that I love this. I am so excited to try this book out. So fingers crossed this is a new favorite. All right, we have 1 more TBR prompt to go. Let's make it a good one. All right, so my final TBR prompt for the month of June is going to be Continue a series. Love that. Simple, succinct, to the point. Let me think about this for a second and I will be back with my final book to add to my June TBR. All right, I picked out my book for the continue a series prompt, and there's a series that I've just started and I'm so excited about it, so I definitely want to keep up with it. There's a lot of books in this series, so I definitely want to continue on with it in June. That is the Guild Hunter series by Nalini Singh. So this is book 2, Archangel's Kiss, and I'm going to add this to my June TBR. This is an urban fantasy romance series. It follows angels and vampires, and it is this huge, big, long story following so many characters, so many different romances. It takes place in New York City, but just like this really cool, magical, fantastical New York City. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of Crescent City House of Earth and Blood, and I know that Sarah J. Maas is a huge fan of Nalini Singh and this series in particular, so I'm sure that there's some inspiration for Crescent City in this series. I did read the first book in the series, Angel's Blood, like 3 years ago, and I liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars, but I just never continued on with the series. But lately I've just like had it in my head that I want to start this series. So I'm currently rereading the first book, having a great time, and I will be done with it soon. So we will read the second book, Archangel's Kiss, in the month of June. Oh my god, okay, so here is my very heavy June TBR. To go through it one more time, we have The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri, we have The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, Blood over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong, The Goddess of by Randy Garner. We will be carrying over The Inadequate Heir and Fairy Dale from my May TBR, and then capping it off with book 2 in the Guild Hunter series, Archangel's Kiss. I am so excited. I know that there's a 5-star in here, hopefully multiple, and I just cannot wait to read and vlog all of these books. All right, friends, so that is going to be it for my June TBR. I would love to hear, what are you excited about reading in June? What books are coming out that you're really looking forward to? I feel like it is going to be such a great summer, so many amazing books coming out, and it all starts this month. So let me know what you're looking forward to reading. If you made it to this point in the video and you wanted to let me know, go ahead and leave any summary emoji. That could be sunshine, that could be a bikini, that could be the ocean, anything that reminds you of summer. Please make sure that you're following me on all of my social media. They are linked down below. I have my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Goodreads. I also have a Patreon. That is where I host my fantasy romance book club. I also post bonus videos and we do reading sprints over there as well. I really appreciate that you watched today's video. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one.